Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Uncomplicated Podcast, a self-help podcast dedicated to fostering conversations that matter to the mental and personal well-being as well as self-improvements. I'm Raihan, nutritionist and your host.
And I'm Haikal, your co-host and clinical psychologist. Today, we are going to explore what causes insecurities, ways to tackle the roots of these feelings, and share practical tips that will help build confidence and foster a positive self-image.
Yep, so joining us today is once again Rarah Haermie, radio DJ at RIA897, who I know very well because we were from the local radio search program Suara Juara in 2023. Welcome back, Rarah.
Hi guys, I'm Rarah Haermie. I helm Oh My Girls Belt from 12 to 2 p.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So do check me out on RIA897. I like the color blue and I have 4 cats. Alright.
Okay, so Rara is here to open up about her experience and seek some insight from Haikal on how to work through, the insecurities and feelings. But before that, we have a game. So it's a yes or no.
Okay.
So question is, number 1,
Uh-huh.
do you often compare yourself to others in ways that make you feel less than or inadequate?
So mean.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, yes.
What going on?
I put numbers.
It's a yes or no. You put a number.
Sorry. Yes, I do.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, mine is a
So
yes.
mine is a no.
Oh wow.
Mm.
Wow. Okay.
Apa ni? What is
It's
this?
like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Yeah. Get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever taken time to identify where your insecurities stem from, such as past experiences or specific events? Ready?
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1. Right. So Rara says yes. Mine is like yes a lot, and
My
Haikal definitely yes. Oh.
Go progress.
I mean, it's definitely yes for Haikal because he's a psychologist. And one of the things that you have to do is reflect.
reflect and see our own psychologist.
Yes. Okay, question number 3. When you feel insecure, do you try to counter negative self-talk with positive or realistic affirmations?
So is either a yes or no lah.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay, everyone is concentrating. Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1. Woo! So Rara says, ha ha ha, duh, yes. I'm like doing a Rara now.
Oh, yes, always. Mine is a yes. Because try. Because in your question, you ask like, do you try? I try lah, but whether I succeed or not is another story.
That's a good one, though. Okay, so thank you so much. So those are the 3 games, 3 questions that we, just to kick off this conversation.
Right. So to start off, baby Rara, can you share with us a bit more about your journey with insecurities and what are the experiences that shape how you feel about yourself?
I still feel shitty about myself until now.
Why?
You have those days.
Okay. Yes, that's
Don't
good.
worry me, yeah.
But yeah, maybe you want to share. Is it okay for you to
Yes,
share?
right. Okay, so growing up, I always feel that I'm always being compared.
Mm.
Ever since from primary school, secondary school, poly, even up to now. So like I always feel people are always comparing me with someone better. Yeah. So growing up, I always feel like I have this. I know that I'm loud. I have a loud personality. I have a big personality. So that is my biggest insecurity. Like, am I being too much? Am I giving off a bad energy? And is my energy too much for people to handle? Like, I'm sure like there are days people don't appreciate high energy, right? So like, what if those days that I become high energy, will they be able to appreciate me as a person? Like, some days it's just me being me. Yeah, so that's one of the insecurity, like having a loud personality growing up. And then even with the people around me, because in my circle of friends, I'm always the loudest in terms of volume and also personality lah. So that's my biggest insecurity because everyone will be like talking normal gitu. And then there's me like, oh, you know this one. Yeah. But that's just me being in my own self. So it's like whenever I see people's reaction like, Sarah, can you keep quiet? Sarah, can you stop? Or like, Sarah, just shush lah. Like, or just like, just keep quiet lah. You know, like really brush off what I'm saying. So I'm like, okay, then that's how I'll just keep quiet lah.
So what's the message that you get, right, by these responses from people around you?
I'm too loud. Yeah, so that is my biggest insecurity even up to now. Cause I'm I'm trying to say who can appreciate me being me. I toned down a lot actually over the years because I've learned how to control lah. Because I'm sure there are parts of me that are really loud, which is not necessary. Like so growing up, being an adult, and then that's where like certain things I should just put it behind. Certain emotions, certain personality. So like control lah. Yeah.
Right.
And this controlling the loudness or your personality, does it has any this effort lah to try to control your personality, does it have any negative impact on you?
Yeah.
Huh.
I became more conscious with myself. So whenever I want to talk to somebody, even like let's say like in this kind of setting, I was just like, should I talk more or should I talk softer or should I be myself or should I be my professional person or should I just be Rara? Oh yeah. So that's why I'll start to think like which kind of person should I be?
Right. So there's a constant fear and
Oh, being conscious, yeah.
conscious about how you act, how you
Yes.
speak because of the thought that you had about
Mm,
yourself.
correct.
Oh. Now, Haikal, I just want to find out from you, in a clinical perspective, why do you think insecurities develop, and why are they so hard to shake off once they are there?
I think we did discuss this in an earlier episode, right? About wanting to be accepted by people.
Mm.
And well, ideally we want to be accepted unconditionally. But of course, the way people behave or respond to us tells us that we can't be the acceptance is unconditional. You have to be in a certain way. You have to look in a certain way, you have to behave in a certain way. Right? We mentioned about how your qualifications have to be in a certain way. Right? To be accepted. So we start, and especially because this happened in a very young age. Right? So we develop this belief that, well, for me to be accepted by people, I have to be
Someone else,
I have to be maybe not someone else, but I have to be behaving in the way that others expect me to be.
Yeah.
Like the society expectations.
Correct.
Right. I mean, Raihan, like, for example, like growing up, how often do you wear pink, for example?
Oh, really?
Really, right?
Really?
Yeah. I mean, now I do. But
now I do.
yeah, but in the past, like, you imagine when when we were young, we wear pink, right? What was gonna
Yeah, because we, society has an expectation of what a boy should be, what a girl should be, and I guess that eventually kind of like become a cycle for us to have that thought that, oh, we should be this, we should be that. Like men should wear pink, right? They believe when you were younger. So I guess that's where if let's say you do something that is against the society standard or expectations, you're not gonna fit in.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that gender perceptions, there's whatever, right? But what makes you a good person, right, is somehow we tend to learn that how society view us is important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would sometimes shape our insecurities because we try to fit in
Correct.
into that. Wow.
Yeah, Haikal, are all these expectations and like society thoughts of what it should be important for us, or do we need to follow them, or can we just go like, no, I don't need to follow them, I just want to be me and all that?
Well, I think that to a certain extent is important for us to follow. Right? There will be certain kind of rules or expectation that we have to follow so that it doesn't infringe into other people's rights. For example, there are certain rules that we have to follow for some form of, that for some form of, let's say, consistency
Yeah.
and all that. That is fine, right? But then I think that celebration of individual differences is something that we still have something to do, have some way to go, right? Because if every one of us have the same personality, wear the same color, or have the same kind of interest, then not very fun, right?
That's true. So what are the ways that we can do? Because I know that these society expectations are always going to be there,
Yep.
right?
Correct.
And then the pressure is going to be there. But not everybody will grow up to follow the mold.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different story. I mean, even for myself, I have to top up to what Rarah has mentioned. Even I myself has insecurities. Like sometimes even on air, I'm like asking myself, why do I sound a certain way?
Yeah.
Right? Because I want to have like, okay, because usually people have, just to share this, suddenly I become like another case study for you. So what
My receptionist will bill you.
Oh wells. Okay, so one of the things that I still have insecure, I used to, especially when I first started radio, is that am I suitable to be a radio DJ is because a male radio DJ usually typically have a very deep voice. So when they speak, this is how they speak on radio. It's like very nice
A
bass,
Ah.
right? And I know that I don't have it. I know I don't have the bass. It's like I have a pretty high pitch for a guy. Okay, so when I first got in, I was really insecure, and I had these thoughts of like, the reason why I'm in is because of luck, not because they want me or something like that. You know, there are these thoughts coming in my head. But over time, as I go forward, and then the listeners are also listening, and then they actually give me a lot of good feedback, I realized, yeah, actually fine, they're okay with it. So and then that means I don't have to be so insecure about myself. But it took me time.
Understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, even until now, even like until now, there are certain insecurities of
Mhm.
myself. Like when I host weddings or when I host events, there is this thought in my head like, what if they don't like me? What if they find me too formal or too boring, too rigid, right? So there are a lot of like insecurities coming in. So yeah, what could be one of those practical ways that you can suggest to overcome all these insecurities? Is there a way to overcome it?
Well, firstly, these insecurities, right? There are, I'll say some form of like healthy insecurities there, and then there is unhealthy, right? When it's healthy, it means that it does help you, right, to grow, to progress, right? No, am I good enough? If let's say you go like, yeah lah, I'm very good already, right? Then what would be the quality of your presentation when you go up? So there needs to be some level of stress to push us towards, some level of quality there. Right? And I think any top, even top singers or whatever, before you go up, before they go up the stage, they'll be like, okay, they'll feel some form of jitters.
Yeah,
Right?
yes.
If they go, nothing like, don't need to practice and then, it is not gonna be helpful. Right? The insecurities tells you that, well, where can you improve on? But when these insecurities cause you to be overly anxious and it affects the quality of what you're trying to do, that may not be helpful.
Yeah.
That's when you may have to look into like, what is going through my mind right now, right?
Yeah.
And how much is it causing me to, for example, like lose focus on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right? So some level of insecurity is still healthy. Right? We mentioned again in the previous in another episode, right? We're having some form of like self-critic and all that. That is fine. Yeah, but
Motivation for you to do better.
it is.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, it gives you some idea and room to grow from there.
Yeah.
So it's like you're self-aware of what you are lacking behind.
Right. So then the question would be, if let's say it is actually you're doing good job and all that, but it's still there is that insecurities, right? Because no matter who you are, you won't get everyone to love you lah. All right.
So you cannot please everyone.
You can't please everyone.
Correct.
Right? There's always this debate, for example, like in football, right? Who's the best soccer player? There's always like Ronaldo or Messi, right? But you won't have like, so if I say Ronaldo, then will Messi feel hurt, right? Definitely you cannot cater to everybody, but
Right.
I think in what you are trying to do, who are the people that will be important for you to actually meet these expectations, and as well as whether these expectations are realistic or not.
Correct.
Right? So if let's say you are on the radio station and they say that, well, you know what, we want you to be able to have a deep voice, but not realistic lah, then
Yeah.
cannot do anything. But if they say that, no, but right, we need you to engage us better or something.
Yeah.
Or I don't know lah, right? Then okay, you can take that as feedback.
Right. So which means to say that things that we can control, things that we can improve on, then we touch on that. But things that we cannot, it's a matter of really just saying, just be confident about it. Right.
I wouldn't say be confident about it, but more of accepting ourselves for who we are. And why is it so important for us to accept us for who we are? Is that, if once you are able to accept yourself for who you are, right? What other people say doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
Right. But of course, when I say accepting yourself, is still accepting in a healthy way lah. Right? So if the person says that, well, you need to, for example, like if you are generally healthy and all that, but people say, no lah, still not as handsome lah, or I'm still not happy.
Yeah. I want to touch on what you actually mentioned about it's okay for us to feel insecure. It's because insecurity actually helps us to be better and perform better in whatever we are actually going forward. So for Rara yourself, what would be one thing that you yourself would love to maybe overcome in terms of your insecurity? And what will be one thing that you wish could be better in order to overcome that?
Wow. That's a lot. Okay. Maybe the first one is I tend to self-doubt a lot when I know I've overcome so much. So it's like I'm always comparing to myself like um someone else has gone through worse. So like my problems is just nothing to compared to theirs. So like I always tend to self doubt and then like am I like okay, let's say I'm in a very stressful situation, then I always like do I deserve to be stressful? Am I supposed to be feeling stressful? But this person going through worse than me, what? So like why like this person can handle, then why I cannot? Yeah, when I know when if I want to compare with me and other people, I've went through my own fair share. I've overcome so many things on my own, and I'm here at where I am because of myself. Why am I still self-doubting myself?
Right.
Yeah. So it's a thing that I'm still learning lah until now to appreciate myself more, be more confident with who I am, and like this self-doubt is always going to be there lah. I have to stop comparing myself with others lah. I have to start appreciating. I'm really starting appreciating all those little victories, small victories, how much I've overcome on my own. Just that I have to stop comparing with other people having worse than me. Like I have to accept the fact that in this life we all have our fair share of problems. Different people go through different problems. Like they are destined to go through a certain thing in life. So probably now this is my challenge in life, and that is their challenge in life. So like comparing, like what do I get?
I think that would be positive in the sense that you're trying to now being able to accept that hey, these are my emotions. I think to build up on what we mentioned about the emotion deprivation in the last, where like part of how you feel that you're being accepted is whether you are able to manage your emotions or not. No, it's because you have the experience that if you are too emotional, then I don't want you, right? So you feel insecure when you have these emotions as well.
Correct.
So I think that is a healthy progress that is being made over there. Yeah, where you still your worth and doesn't diminish because of the emotions that you're struggling with. Because sometimes we tend to make it as a competition lah. Like, hey, I tired. Are you tired? I'm more tired than you. I got this, but both also actually tired. What? There's nothing wrong with both of us being tired.
It's both different kind of tired lah.
Yes, that's right. Now, Rara, do you think your environment and the people who you're with actually plays a role in, you overcoming your insecurity?
Yeah. Definitely.
Are you surrounding yourself with people who are helping you, or?
I'm really trying to, because I have this habit where I wanted to be friends with everyone. That was my bad habit back in school days lah. Like, I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to fit in because like I see my friends like why do they get to mingle with people so easily? And then why is it so hard for people to approach me as a person? Like, am I liking something? Is it I don't know how to talk, or am I not pretty enough, or not bubbly enough? So that's where all the comparing start. So I always compare myself to like my best friends, and then I say like, oh, I think she's a prettier one. That's why people like her more, or she's a more bubbly, confident one, and I'm the more quieter one. Maybe that's why people don't talk to me more. So that's why I start to as I grow up, I see those that know how to appreciate my personality, like those that know how to complement their personality with mine. So like on some days they are the low energy kind, they will prefer those that in a high energy. Or like in a situation where I'm more confident facing strangers, where I have friends who are more confident facing the people around us. Like for example, I need to speak up for someone. Okay, let's say like for example for you,
Yeah.
whenever let's say someone does me wrong at work, you are brave enough to speak up for me, but I'm not. But let's say outside in a supermarket, this auntie comes to you and they want to try to sell you something and you're scared. So I'll be the one who speak up for you.
Right.
Yeah. So I try to find people who know how to complement my energy more. Instead of those that like try to brush off lah, or don't match my energy. And it's fine because I think it's better we don't mix ourselves than torture lah. Yeah, so that's where I start to notice who is more deserving to be in my life. Like the friends, maybe to a certain level, maybe this friendship is like, okay, your energy and mine is not that like, okay, we still can be friends, but just keep it that way. And if there's one that I can be more vulnerable with, like our energy complements each other, we help each other, then that's where I let you in my circle.
Right. And Haikal, how do you think what would be one advice that you can share with us in order for us to, let's say things in a nicer way that we won't make the other party be so insecure with themselves? Is it a possible way to do it?
Say things in a nicer way so that the other person don't feel insecure.
Yeah.
Right? So how do you give feedback to people without... I think it starts with a very useful thing that can be done is using I feel statements. Right? I feel this, right? Because when we don't use I feel statements, one of the things that we do is like you da. It becomes direct, it becomes a criticism, right?
Okay.
So if for example, like your let's say you're in a relationship, right? And maybe your partner, let's say never clear the rubbish, for example, and you go like, hey, why you never clear the rubbish? You know, right? You should be doing this.
Yeah.
Then it will be construed as a criticism, for example, right? But it's gonna be the same message. You think about it, right? If you go like, hey, you know what? When I see the rubbish there, right, I feel quite disappointed, right? Because I was hoping that I can get that support, to get the rubbish. I think there was an agreement for us to clear it, right? How would the message be different, right? Because the other person response will also cannot be like, why are you criticizing me? I mean, in a certain way, say, no, but I want to share with you, this is how I feel, right? There is nothing wrong with the way that you feel, right? Either ways, yes, you are upset, but you are sharing this is information. I am feeling this way, right? Yeah, maybe because of you, right? But this is how I feel. You cannot deny me. This is the emotions that I'm struggling with right now.
Oh, I have a question. There's a difference between being straightforward and being mean, right? Yeah, that's a question.
Oh, is that it's straightforward? Being
Being mean, because some people they like to say things without thinking, but to them it's like, I'm just being straightforward. Why so sensitive? But
Right.
some are like, whatever they feel, they are straightforward with you. They are honest with what they feel, and then they tell you. So like, yeah.
Well, there would be that I'll say it's on a spectrum, right? But when you say you are being mean, there is that intent to hurt the person.
right.
So I don't deny there may be people like who are a bit more sensitive, and you tell them something straightforward and then they take it personally. Right? And again, this is something we mentioned about taking things personally.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right? But if you are being if there is that intention to actually hurt that person, that of course that's being mean. But what happens if you are just being straightforward and the person takes it personally? I think one thing that can be helpful as well is to repair that relationship. You still can repair that relationship, especially if you don't intend to, right? So for example, let's say like, you snack too much, right? You feel hurt by that, right? There is for that relationship to be repaired. I think there would still be ways for you to repair her, right? So, I mean, like, how can you repair that relationship? What would you say?
I'm sorry if I say that you snack too much. It's my fault. I was just joking with you.
You sure?
Yes, it was joking.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you want to play now?
No, nothing.
Yeah, I think that's fine, right? Because in any relationship, there may be things that things that may be misconstrued,
Correct.
that may be misunderstood, and that communication is really important.
I think it's how you accept the person's opinion lah. Like even okay, let's say you're sensitive about that person's comment, and then the person like, okay lah, sorry lah, I was just joking or something. Or at least they understand that it hurt you. So maybe
They acknowledge that.
they acknowledge, even though like it's just them being them, but at least they acknowledge your emotion. Maybe in the future they will prevent from saying certain things lah. And then you on the other hand will try to be not too sensitive and take it too much on yourself.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. Because if we are talking about like individuals and their own insecurities, right? And these insecurities, there is a root cause for it, being the way that people treat you, the messages that people are telling you, and so on. So some of the responses, so when people say something to us, right? Then when people say things to us, right, we may actually feel upset because these are some of the baggages due from our past experiences. It's not necessarily because what has been said to you, but because of what has happened. So it's also helpful if you understand where this comes from.
Like your trigger lah.
Exactly.
Then like
All right. So, Rarah,
Yes.
one of the questions, Eric, wait, yep.
Okay.
Okay, so Rarah,
Mm.
if there could be one advice that you can tell yourself right now or your younger self right now, what will it be?
Something that I'll tell her lah.
Yeah, correct.
Girl, you're already doing it. Stop doubting yourself. Grow up. Right. Like for real, look at where you are now and where you thought you will be when you were 16.
That's true.
Yeah, like
true.
you knew you wanted to be somewhere and look where you are now.
Yeah.
And it's not that you have supportive people around you and you did this on your own hard work. Can't let her cry. So stop doubting yourself. Yeah, you will have days where you feel very down, but give yourself a chance.
That's true.
If the
Yeah.
opportunity comes, take it. At least you know that you tried rather than you regret not trying. Yes. Life is all about taking risks.
That's true.
Yes.
That is true.
Live with no regrets. Yeah.
That's true. And I just want to add on because, I mean, as a friend, I do find that you have such a bubbly personality, which is actually a strength. And when you're on air, it's actually a joy to listen to. So much personality in there, so much you. And I really enjoyed listening to you on radio.
Oh, Lola.
Accepting the compliments.
Yes, accepted.
Okay. You better.
No. I mean, we're all better. We're all good. Yeah, but you really have done a really good job. So be proud. So Haikal, the end of maybe would there be any advice that you have to share to everyone out there who might be insecure about themselves?
Well, there would be roots to our insecurities, but it'll be good if you understand where does these insecurities come from. Sometimes you may need to get professional help to do that. Sometimes asking the questions are like, why am I so focused about what people think of me? Would be useful, right? That might be enough for you to start reflecting as well, right? But we have to also realize that we would not meet all the criteria for what would make us someone that is worthy, someone that is likable. And like what Rara mentioned, that I want everyone to like us. We do want people to like us, but well, that's not how it works. There may be people that we would fit into, there will be people that we may vibe with, there are people that we don't.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean there is something wrong with you.
Just need to find someone that fits your puzzle. You too. Oh, wow.
Hashtag fits your puzzle.
There's something to say to those who feel insecure.
Please.
Okay, I mean, as a girl point of view, still growing and still learning how to accept yourself, right? It's okay to feel insecure. It's just one of those days where you are aware of what you're feeling. So you just be aware of why you're feeling insecure, like in terms of your looks, your personality, and like try to work on it. Maybe like from there that you realize that, oh, maybe because I'm lacking something. Like you actually will learn something, something new about yourself. And then like, it's okay. You're made out of love. People love you. Yeah, you are God's creation. It's okay to be insecure. Yeah, but don't put it on yourself too much lah. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you so much, Rara, for being here,
Thank
for
you.
gracing our podcast, and for sharing your
Being vulnerable with us.
yeah, exactly. I think
It's very brave.
very brave.
Really?
Yeah, it's not easy to be vulnerable, and you've done a good job there.
Oh, yeah. That was an insecurity too.
Being too vulnerable
Yeah.
is actually a strength, I think.
Yeah, it is.
It was an insecurity, then I turned it into a strength.
There you go.
Because that's how you build trust with people and build bonds with people. If you can't be vulnerable and then you have that wall and they're like, no, I don't trust you, then it's going to be hard for you to know people. And like build trust lah, build the bond.
Right. So, of course, thank you to all of you for tuning in, and we hope that you found something valuable in this conversation. And we'll be back next week with more insights on self-care and growth.
And with that, remember to love yourself and always uncomplicating
The
the complicated. Bye.